One of the things that actually stood out was with regards to the panel report is the unwillingness of the Nigerian army to basically take responsibility for its actions and apologize. It was cited that they've never even made an appearance. As a matter of fact, we are talking about, for example, Lieutenant Colonel Bello, who actually led that, and we recently had that he has also actually been promoted to a colonel, and even the army general who was in charge at that point, that Burata, was
well, let me say this.
why is the Nigerian military failing, or why have they refused to own up and to accept responsibilities for their inactions?
Yeah, well, if you want me to be very, very, very candid, I would say my response will first be the Yoruba proverb. The man with the knock knees going on a road with a load on his head and then walking along eagerly, was now accosted by people asking, why are you carrying your load in such a lopsided manner that is just swaying about? And the man looked at them and said, gentlemen, you are looking at the load. Don't you look at the base? If you look at the base, you see the reason why the load is askew and is lopsided and is not so nice to look. You see, that man that is knock-kneed, amuku, ẹsẹ̀ ẹwọ́, wọ́n lè ru ẹwọ́, orílẹ̀ ń wò ẹ̀wọ́. That man proverbially is the Nigerian government. The Nigerian government is the one that has no regard for the people. The military is an organ of the government. The police is an organ of the government. You understand? And a fruit must only be in the nature of the tree that bears fruit. You see, once you have a responsible government that feels accountable to the citizen and accountable to obedience to the constitution to which it has sworn to, it is not possible for any of its agencies or organs to act contrary-wise. Who is the head of the military? It's the president of the country. Who is the head of the IG of the police? The IGP. Who appoints him?
It's the president.
Is the president. You understand? So what is happening is that since the government, the employers and the controllers of these organs do not feel themselves above the Nigerian people, little wonder that the Nigerian military were behaving the way they were behaving. As at the time when I listened to Leo Irabo, General and current Chief of Army Staff, about a week ago or 9 days ago, say, oh, we are waiting for the white paper and all that kind of thing, and going on to say that the army is a professional body. And I was saying, how professional? There is no modern army that is professional, that is not subordinated to civil authority. To civil authority, now you have a situation where government set up a panel. When you set up a panel and they invited you to come, you are choosing now which summons to obey, which summons not to obey. And the one that you obey, the witness you presented was a person who was not an eyewitness. He was just a glib talker, a smart guy. Let me come and just show them that I understand, I can speak good English and everything. He was not there. Another cross-examination, he did not stand up well. The real people who could have countered the Sorosoke people were not there. If the evidence, eyewitness account of the NSAS protesters and the survivors and the petitioner before the panel is to the effect that in the evening of 20 October 2020, this and this and this happened, and they were so explicit that soldiers came and they were shooting at us, and they were not allowing, and they were shooting to kill, and people were falling down, and we saw them carrying off falling what do you call it, ambulances to depart or to come and everything, and that it was only one man, one general Omata, Brigadier General Omata, who came in to halt the carnage. These are very serious allegations. So what do you do as a truly professional body of military? You now, once you know your hands are clean and you have notice of the summons and the tribunal, what you say is, what you do is Nishonibe, let's go there. We will counter your lies, we hold them as lies, we hold them as inventions, we hold them as conjuration, you know. So you will now come, and then Bello will come and say no, yes, and then you know the witnesses, Dabira in particular, mentioned an encounter with Omata that night, and request for help, for assistance and everything, and the way the general responded to her, these are things that, oh, military can come and debunk. I said, no, you people are mistaken. I too, I was there. And it's now left for the panel to weigh it. And you remember this thing was televised worldwide throughout. It was beamed out throughout. This was a golden opportunity for the military, for the police, for HCC to come, but military did not bring eyewitness. Police did not bring, that one is even very laughable. They were lying through their teeth that they didn't even know what happened at all on the 20th. You know, that gentleman was saying, the CSP Raji, he was saying something that that day, because I was not asked the question. That Baraka police station is not too far away from Lekki toll gate. The shootings that happened, he said he didn't hear anything. Why? He said it's because there was a disco center behind this police station. And did you know? So when did you know? He said it is on the next day. And wow, via social media in the evening of the next day. These are things, they were claiming that they were not there at all. They were not there on the 20th, they are not there on the 21st. The SCC said that by 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock of that day, they had withdrawn their personnel. So how does anybody who is actually being fair and objective, you are now blaming the panel? The evidence, and there are a lot of corroborative evidence, the forensic and the pathologist corroborated it, that these things happened.
Now, in a bid to instill fear in NSAS testifiers and silence the movement supporters, we were told about the suspected paid thugs that have begun a coordinated attacks on and threats, including attempted murder against testifiers and witnesses from the recently concluded panel. The case of Kamsi Chukwu Ibe was enunciated, who was ruthlessly attacked by 3 men and left for dead at the bus stop. How far will this go?
Well, this event happened. Briefly, the lady was attacked on Sunday night, macheted. After light of the touch was beamed on her face, and she was told, oh, we know you. We have warned you people to stay off this your NSAS struggle. You know, everybody was, we are waiting the white people of Lagos. So it's still an ongoing struggle, and there's been a lot of debate. People who are against the report, like Mohammed, and before him, even lawyers to the Lagos state government, like Biodo Wodikoko, and Takao DSA, and all those kind of people. And even some other people have been talking about. And then there are so many other people who are in support of the report, people like us. So everybody knows there's a contention still on. So this lady was now that one. So if you die, you will continue your campaign in heaven. She didn't die. Arrangements were made by the movement to ensure her hospitalization, and more of our colleagues, of our own people, comrades, came. Out of the people that came to see her, we are talking of Gabriela, we are talking of Sarah Ibrahim, we are talking of Christiana. There were three. There were actually four. There was a man among them. They came to visit her in the hospital the second day of the incident. They came back to their vehicle only to find a note stuck to the car. You are next. There are four people marked there, four figures marked there. I have samples of that, and I've written to the police, commissioner of police, yesterday. It's been submitted, and we are waiting for the action. I think I heard that the police commander said that they should make a report. They are there, blah blah blah.
Yeah, exactly. The Lagos State Police Command challenged anyone who was attacked after appearing before it to come forward.
We have come forward. We have stated our complaint. We have stated the names of people who attacked and all that. And but of course, we have good reasons to doubt the sincerity, not the capacity, the sincerity of the police. What is happening in Lagos State? The combination of Akeem Odumosu as Commissioner of Police and Babajide Sanwo-Olu as Governor is quite interesting. It's a policy, what I've said is a policy of die and gain. When atrocities have been committed by the police against citizens, killing them like has happened in July 1 at the rally of the Odua Nation people. While the news are buzz and everything, what you will now hear the police is to spin fantastic stories, deny it. Meanwhile, government of Lagos will now be seeking way of connecting the family and to give them pretense, and so they keep quiet. And I'm talking from a pedestal of inaccessible conviction that this is what they are doing, because it's one of the what do you call it now?
The girl.
Ojota one.
Ojota, exactly.
Yes, we were invited there. We were there. We saw the family. They even issued a letter of authority authorizing us. And I remember we were about 3 lawyers, Shukonjo, who's a senior and an activist too, and Ayadibili and myself were there. But while we were there, and on Sunday, the young woman was killed on Saturday. While we are there, a ministry of government has come, dangling 2 million naira as them. By Monday or so, the family had called me to say, Barrister, please, let's just watch and watch. I said, don't worry, sir. And since we are not busybody interlopers, we kept our cool. Later now, we now hear that they've rented apartment for the woman, the mother of the child. Not even they built. They've rented an apartment, they have paid 3 years rent, and they are giving her 1 million. But if it were their children or child that died, that's circumstances. Is that what they will be doing? So the police will deny atrocities that happen. The government will try to find what they call to them, well, that's their political situation, to calm the people down. That is unacceptable. That's why I said that the capacity is there for the police to do their work, but they will not do it. If they say they will do it, it's just to, how do I put it, to fulfill our righteousness. That's why we have written to them, is acknowledged, and the victims of these attacks are ready to come up and give statement to the police.
Finally, sir, what confidence do you have that the much awaited white paper will be fair and reasonable, and that this government will muster the will to implement the recommendations?
I doubt. I will be pleasantly surprised if the government of J.J. Sanwo-Olu surprised me. I will be pleasantly surprised. But the antecedent of the government does not indicate that the government will find a political will and courage and decency to accept those recommendations. And there are reasons for that. The panel was independent and balanced. That's why it's difficult for government to say that anybody influenced them. But it's part of the political ojoro, boju arrangement that says that they say it's law. I'm a lawyer. Analysis of that law will tell you that it's not a law that is just. The law is that when they set up a judicial panel of inquiry, the findings, the appointer is not compelled, is not under any obligation to accept the findings. In fact, it may reject it totally, or it may just accept a few or modify it. And they say that's law. That is an unjust law. It is calculated, even before this particular government, is calculated to shield government. And there are a lot of things put in the law that is calculated to shield the establishment, shield the government and their favorites. So that's why somebody would commit a very atrocity, a criminal atrocity. The government will have the right to say, we are dropping charges against him. And they say it's the law, that they may not prosecute him. And then they may say he has even been convicted. They will now say, we give him pardon. And pardon means it's as good as the person has not been convicted at all. This is part of the prerogatives of the establishment. And so when somebody is talking, say, but it's the law now. So they want to blackmail you, they want to embarrass you with the law. But any law that does not conform with Bentham principle of law is a useless law, must be opposed. And by what's Bentham? He said the purpose of law must be for the greatest good of the greatest number, happiness of the people in the community. This is the purpose of law. Because that kind of Benthamistic perspective will lead to justice, real justice, and not just mere legal justice. That is one. Two, you find out that even the composition shows bias already. The chairman of that particular panel happens to be the attorney general. Of course, is involved in this crisis because he's a member of the Security Council of Lagos State. Before the panel, instead of governor to come, they hid him under one, to demo, constitutional shield that the governor is not compellable to come. Okay, what about the speaker, who is a member? He did not come. What about the commissioner of police? Is that one under any shield? He did not come. Of course, General Ndagi of the army, that one, you cannot even touch him because we'll be Superman in Nigeria. He did not come. What of the secretary of Lagos State government? He did not come. What of the chief of staff of the governor of Lagos State? He did not come. They now brought Akim Muri-Okanla, one in no-course civil servant, the head of civil service. That one, I was wondering that day, why did they bring this man to represent the interest of Lagos State? Is he supposed to be a political actor? He's a civil servant. What could he do? He did not come. So you now, this gentleman, this Moyosoro Nigbanjo, SAN, the Attorney General of Lagos State, is now the head of that committee, about 300 people, all of them being civil servants. So they are a biased element for the interest of a stakeholder who participated in the judicial battle before the panel and lost. That is one reason. Then the other one is the bullying tactics, the poisonous bullying tactics of Lai Mohammed, the Minister of Information. After, you know, in Nigeria, the military, the federal government has so much influence on state governments. So it's only a few state governors traditionally that do oppose, since 1999, that can afford to oppose the presidency, like Bola Tinubu famously did against Obasanjo in 1999, like Wike was doing presently against Buhari and all this kind of a thing. So, having set the tone, in this instance, the government in Abuja is an APC control, produced by APC. The government in Lagos is produced by APC. So now they put the governor of Lagos State and his team into a situation of being between the deep blue sea and the devil, you know. But so it's going to be difficult for Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. Let me tell you my mind about him. The gentleman is not a reprobate. He's not a reprobate. And from the way he has handled or mishandled the situation, you could still call him relatively an innocentee. But there are a lot of innocentee in quote, but there are a lot of hawks in and outside his cabinet, which I believe have influence on him. This is a governor who was obviously visibly traumatized on the 20th of October and 21st, and he issued statement, and he was saying this is the darkest time of our time by forces outside of our control. This governor said it. This governor said it. Shall you understand? And you find out that except he wants to become a beacon, a symbol of the kind of Nigeria political leadership that we want, that's when he will put his career, everything at stake, and say, look, we set up this panel, we composed this panel, and we did not leave them alone. We had our lawyers there. These are competent lawyers. Yet, the case turned against us. So, if the panel will set up, turn against us unanimously, that's what is important. That's what I'm urging him. He should not succumb to the bullying tactics of Layuola for his own legacy. For his own legacy. For his own legacy. When people say, tẹ́lẹ̀jọba ti mẹjọ́ ẹ̀ lẹ́bi kò ní pẹ́ lórí ìkúnlẹ̀. Once a person, a traducer, somebody who has at fault, accepted sincerely, and people say, well, it won't stay too much begging, because people too are honorable. So, let's face the fact. The gentleman or lady has accepted. I mean, if you catch a woman in adultery and you are trying to say, and the woman knelt down, you go to people and say, did you come? Did you do it? I did it. I'm only begging my husband. I did it. But the one is going about saying they gang rape me, they use charm on me. They made me to be drunk, and I didn't even do it. They see me, and but I did it. That is what I'm asking the governor of Lagos State to do, and his team. You see, they are the ones in Lagos. They are the ones in Lagos before and after 2023. Lagosians will be seeing them. You see? So, when you are decent, you now say, I set up a panel. Is that there's a conflict in the community. And they said, okay, set up a committee. You are the head of these quarters. There's a conflict between you and the other quarters. And maybe the central authority says, okay, set up, and you set up a quarter. You set up a committee. And from your quarters, they did the funny, and they say, the head of quarters, maybe the Mangaji or the Bale or the Oba was wrong. You were a good Oba. You from home self, you have indicted me. And all of you, not even a single one of you, even though I may believe I'm not wrong, but I said to you, I brought you up, I said you should do this job, and I said I will be independent, and you have given me a report which I find unpalatable. Well, I must own up and be a man. That's what he should do. It's going to be tough for him to do. If he didn't do it, I won't be shocked, but I want to tell him and tell everybody, including the federal government, you can't avoid accountability. If not now, later. And the later, the farther in time, the worse, the heavier the burden will be. You want to heal this land, you want to make people feel proud of being citizens and that they count. The proper thing to do is to accept this recommendation, not to be nitpicking, cherry picking, finding fault here and there. You should just ask yourself quality questions and heed or hacking to your people, and not saying you are manipulated. So Okuwebe was manipulated. The DIG, the whole Deputy Inspector General of Police was and I must say that panel, there was a point in time that the consideration of forensic report was delayed for about 2 or 3 weeks because the DIG was not around. And they told us, they didn't mention it, they said, well, the person of the panel member that seemed to be more experienced in issues like this, for one reason, he was not around. So we have to delay. This is the truth. And I challenge other lawyers maybe to show you how fear, so they have fear. All these people were there. If a DIG or Inspector General of Police, if Mrs. Tony Ogosanya, a director in the Ministry of Justice, that's representing Lagos State interest, they participated. And all of them were in unanimous conviction that a massacre happened. What else?
Barrister Ogunlana, thank you so much for your time.
You are welcome, please.